Hey, what's up, guys? We're coming right into hot and heavy action. This is what you dream about if you like topwater fishing. We have a school of big bass. These are 30 to 40 inch, 40 plus inch stripers, and a school of full size adult bunker or menhaden swam out in the middle of the river to where these bass were sitting, and I mean they're just getting blasted like crazy. Now, what's a little odd, or not, I shouldn't say odd, but what you'll notice is we aren't just getting slammed the second the lure hits the water. There are times where you're going to run into highly aggressive feeding fish, and they're just going to smash the lure. Technique doesn't matter, but that's not the case today. They're feeding on big bunkers, so you're going to see some really big explosions here, and you have to get the lure pretty darn close to where these breaking fish are. The technique's going to matter quite a bit. Now, the best lure to be using in this situation is a surface lure. We're fishing 7-inch docks. It's a Topwater Zero spook style lure. You see the action right there. The action's going to be really important today, right now. They really want that zig to zag, perfect walk the dog action. You see me getting hit like crazy. This fish is on this lure, following it, swirling at it, and it's really important that you just keep working it. Just stay with it. Biggest mistake people make here is that they're going to jerk it when they see the fish. They're going to jerk it on the visual, bam, right there. I felt them hit it, set the hook. You want to wait till you feel the fish take it. Don't jerk it prematurely, because what you'll end up doing is you're going to end up ripping the lure away from the fish, tangling it, and you know, once you pull it away from the fish, a lot of times you kind of blow your shot there. So you just keep working it until you feel that solid take, that's just really cool to see him hit on top like that. Now, what I was saying, in this situation, you want to use a topwater type lure, just because those fish are coming up to the surface, they're hitting full size bunker, so you want something big, loud, and something that you can see them blowing up bunker in the distance there. You want something that is gonna have a bit of a silhouette on the surface, and these fish are gonna go for that right now in this situation. Now, on this lure, I am using 2 treble hooks. I actually like to rig it with an inline hook in the back, but these are replacement hooks. They're Mustad 5X hooks. They are pretty strong hooks. What you're going to notice is that the lure itself is like a leverage point, so you will lose a lot of fish and bend a lot of hooks open. So that's why I prefer the inline hook on the back, and you want to use a pretty heavy duty hook. Because these lures that we're using just have a hook hanger. There's no barrel swivel in the middle of the lure, so the lure can't pivot. So another way I'll rig them too is with just a belly hook and a barrel swivel on the belly hook, just so it allows that lure to pivot, and you'll throw less fish like that.
I see him right out here. Got him, Jim? Oh, there you go. Nice.
That's a nice hit right there. So again, the cadence is really important here. If the cadence, we're doubled up again, and that lure was right on the surface. It was working with that nice walk the dog action. And what I mean by the cadence is these lures float naturally and sit on the surface. So if you're working it and you're pulling your lure underwater, it means that you're overworking it. You're reeling too hard, and you're pulling the lure underwater. If that happens, you stop it, let it float to the surface. And if it's on the surface and you're not getting that side-to-side zigzag, you're underworking it. You're not twitching hard enough. So and check out my channel. I will have more in-depth technique-based videos on working these lures. But it's really a cadence, and it's a combination of twitching and reeling. So you want to be working the lure with the rod tip, twitching it, That's what's going to make it dart side to side. You have just a little bit of slack in the line just to allow it to move sideways, and then you're just reeling it and picking up the slack. So you're not trying to work it with the reel. You're really working it with the rod tip.
Oh yeah, big one. Oh.
Also on these, and there's a gentleman's release right there. We'll call that. You know, that lure or that bass just spit the plug right next to the boat. You know, see when I land these fish, I always use the boat grip, especially when you're dealing with lures and multiple hooks. It's best to use the boat grip. Have your pliers ready on your belt, so you're ready to unhook these fish.
Ballistic right here. Oh my god.
We're gonna switch up technique real quick. Jim just started throwing a big soft plastic, and he hooked up. So when those fish were blowing bunker up out of the water, that's where the Topwater spook's going to work real well. But going to a soft plastic is really effective, especially when the fish aren't blowing bait out of the water. If they you know, get a little finicky, that school of bait moves off a little bit. I mean, soft plastics are just a great versatile lure. So we're using, we're going to lighter rods here, and that's a 9-inch Game On soft plastic and a 9-inch Sluggo. These are rigged on Owner Beast 8.0 hooks with just a little bit of keel weight. I think it's an 1/8 ounce of keel weight, just a bit to keep the lure just subsurface. And it's the same technique though that we're using with the Topwaters. It's that walk the dog action, but this is a subsurface, so we're trying to work it just below the surface, and every now and then you're going to pause it, let it settle, and just another really effective technique.
You be combat fishing?
And we do scale down the rods a little bit. So the rods we're using to throw the docks, those are a little bit heavier. That's a G Loomis IMX. It's the 844 SF, and with the Saragossa 6000. But for the soft plastics here, and at the end of the video, we're going to throw some more plastics. We want to use a little bit lighter rod, a little bit more finesse with it. So we're going down to the E6X. It's a G Loomis, and that's the 843 or 844. And that's just perfect for working these plastics. Nice, easy release with that single hook, too.
Oh, hang on. We're,
And here we go. Things got quiet for a few minutes, so live bait out there just to get something different in the water, and fish are on it almost immediately. I feel the bait starting to get knocked, and then bam, hooked up. So, you know, sometimes you got to be able to change that technique up a little bit. That Topwater was a lot of fun, but that was the perfect scenario when the big bunker swam out and those bass were on them and they were just getting slammed. So we're going to switch up the techniques a little bit here and keep on catching fish.
as much as I hate to say it, technically we are in the channel, but I still don't like them. But you know, we are. So I mean, but the whole river is deep enough where you could go. Hang on, careful. Yeah, maybe go back to the bait for now. Oh, look, he got a fowler. you go.
Jim hooked up really quick on a live bait. And one thing you're going to see with the bait, and just like with topwater, you got to resist the urge to set the hook when you see the fish come after it. You got to be patient. The fish is going to knock it a few times, and you got to wait until you feel a solid take, and just give them a second or two, and then set the hook. Good, firm hook set, and that's the key. You don't want to be premature on the hook set. You also don't want to wait too late, or if the fish feels you, it's going to drop it. Or you could end up gut hooking the fish, which you don't want to do, especially if we're not using circle hooks. You want to make sure that you're not letting the bass take the bait for too long. And here, Jim's using a spinning rod. Now, I prefer conventional for my live bait fishing. I like the Shimano Tranks 400. But personal preference now, there's a lot of, we could discuss this further as to why I think the conventional is better. But if you do like using the spinning tackle, it's fine. It's a bait casting, or a bait runner, I should say, spinning reel, so it allows you to pop it in and out of free spool. And right there, we're hooked up again. Nice hook set, not waiting too long, but just waiting long enough for the fish to take it.
Yeah, you just got to go under. There you go. It's all feel. And it just takes time to get used to it because the bait is so big, it's hard to tell if it's the bait or the fish. You can feel when the bass hits it, it kind of like sucks it in. It's just like a sharp little, it's subtle, but it's sharp. And then once you feel them suck it, you just give them like maybe a 2 count and then hit them. Yeah, you just bow down and then hit them.
The hook set's got to be hard because they're pallets, so
yeah, but be careful. You got to be careful with the hook set too. What you want to do is set, and then you reel, and then you can jerk again. Don't jump out of the boat when you set the hook.
It's an inside joke about not jumping out of the boat with Jim, but you want to make sure you set, you reel, set again, bury the hook good, but you don't jerk it so hard that, one is if you miss the fish, you don't want to rip the bait away from it. Nice firm hook set is what you need, and you could always give it a couple extra sets as well. But don't jump out of your shoes when you set the hook.
Good hook set too.
Nice job, sir.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to finish it up here, throwing some soft plastics, big 9-inch soft plastics, and we're going to get a couple nice fish. Again, this is a subsurface lure, so I have the ability to let the bait slowly sink. I'm going to deploy my trolling motor just to control the boat. You'll find these lures are a little bit more sensitive to wind and the current. So if your boat if the wind's blowing the boat too hard, you're not going to get a good presentation with them. So the benefit of the trolling motor is I can offset the wind with it and keep that looking natural. I don't want it skipping across the surface, although there are times when that works. What I'm looking for is erratic action, but not working the lure too hard. I want just subsurface, and I can occasionally pause it and let it settle a little bit. There's a little bit of weight to it because I have that little keel weight and that owner beast hook, and you'll find it's deadly when you pause it and just stop it for a second. These fish will slam it, and we do get some really nice fish. This is one of the Game On 9-inch, the big Ochi bait. Great bait for this. Really solid, light tackle fish. That's a beautiful fish right there. And we actually moved because it was getting too crowded. And unfortunately, especially when you're fishing in rivers and estuaries, the boat traffic could just be brutal. So what happens is, the fish blowing up on the surface, everybody sees it, and eventually, they just get overpressured, and you just got to get out of there and go do your own thing. So that's what we did here. We made a move and paid off with a couple nice fish right before sunset. Thanks for watching this. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Instagram, Real Cash Charters. Thanks.
Not that big, but it's nice.
Let me just grab this.
Still a decent fish.